Hello, hello, Guardians. I'm Ransom Rider, playing my favorite game, Destiny 2. Guardians, it's a new year. It's kind of a time to look back and reflect upon the year that's been. And with that in mind, I've made a list of top 10 places in Destiny that are my favorites. I'm going to go over the list and then we're going to visit them and I'm going to tell you why they're my top 10. Okay, here they are. I'm looking at my list. I've written them down. Top 10 places in Destiny. Number 10, Firebase Hades. Number 9, Watcher's Grave. Number 8, the Fluorescent Canal. Number 7, the Strand. Number 6, Cadmus Ridge. Number 5, Trustland. Number 4, Sorrow's Harbor. Number 3, Artifact's Edge. Number 2, Skywatch. And my number 1 place to visit in Destiny. Number 1, Winding Cove. Winding Cove. And if you play along with me in Destiny, I often call it Walnut Grove. All right, Guardians, let's go visit. That was my top 10 places that I like to visit, go to in Destiny 2. It's my favorite game. I'm Ransom Rider. Let's go hang out and just quickly visit them. Number 10, Firebase Hades. And that is on the EDZ. This was really like the first place that I got to visit, that I really remember visiting. You know, when we launched, I know we came out on the tower as it was being destroyed when Destiny 2 launched. A traumatic launch into Destiny 2, I will say. I was boo-hooing like a baby because they destroyed our home. But I remember the EDZ just being phenomenal. I felt like it was so well done. There was so much to do, so many public events. And it hasn't changed for me. Firebase Hades, we're going to fly in and just check it out. Now, I see there's a public event taking place, and it's always so hard for me, Guardians, to pass up a public event. I will rally the flag. But this is about my top 10 list. You know, get out of there, Ransom, before things start happening. Get out of there. All right, we're going over to Firebase Hades, and this is number 10 on my list. I really like this area. You know, it's filled with Cabal, and I'm going to show it to you on the map. Get out of here, Cabal. I need a moment to talk to other Guardians. Leave me alone. All right, we got him in the air. This is Firebase Hades, number 10. I'm going to show it to you on the map. This is it. There's a public event. Often you can finish this one and make it to this one. There's a fallen group here, and then there's usually a servitor that takes place here. But I really like Firebase Hades Guardians because it has Excavation Site 12. It has Pathfinder's Crash, and it has the Pit. And these are 3 phenomenal lost sectors. It makes this area very active. All right, let's go on to my next one. My next destination is Watcher's Grave, and that's on Nessus. And I really like Watcher's Grave. Oh, public events? I'm getting so lucky today. Watcher's Grave is in the Arcadian Valley. This is on Nessus. And Guardians, Nessus is one of those planets when I initially landed here. Oh, green tea with lemon. When I initially landed here, man, I just was blown away by the color palette, the scale of things, the Vex architecture. So many things about this were just mind-blowing to me. I mean, I felt like Destiny, Bungie, you guys absolutely did phenomenal with this. Now, I do have video of this way back in its original condition because the Cabal, that's the Help Us Elect Us land tank that the Cabal brought in, they've kind of redone this area. It has been renovated destroyed, rebuilt. But I like this area for a number of reasons. There's a big public event down there that you can see is going on. There's an enemy that moves against itself here that's a good one. You know, you will find a lot of Fallen and Vex. I'm going to rally this flag, Guardians. I can't resist. I see a flag, I want to rally it. Okay. So, I like this area. I like this big round. There's scannables here. There's public events. There's enemies that move against themselves. Don't neglect to come to Watcher's Grave. And Xur also lands in this tree. He stands on one of these branches sometimes when he's in town. Just a lot has gone down here, and I recommend it. Let's go into my next. Number 8 was the Fluorescent Canal. This is more recent. This is Savathun's throne world. And there's not really an easy way to get to it. You kind of are going to have to land at the Quagmire. This is where you'll find the traitorous little ghost Finch, who's trying to make amends. Will he ever make amends? Do you like Finch? Leave a comment. But we're going to go in and we're going to see the Fluorescent Canal. This is another area that I was just blown away with. I mean, there's reasons why I love this game. And the design work, the effort that goes into every detail, it's so exceptional. And sound being one of them. I'm going to jump on my Sparrow. And I'm going to head straight over to the area that I want to talk about. That's on my list. It's on my list. I feel like this whole area has a dream-like quality. And we're told that it exists in Savathun's mind. She created this. She knows every detail. She knows every bullet that's fired. She counts them. And she is the ruler of this area. I love this because, as you can see, the wellspring, you get such a good look at the architecture. And gone is that dirty, nasty, filthy hive architecture. The wellspring is here. I feel like this just, offers an experience. There's a really great lost sector here. There's public events. There's lots of Lucent Hive. There's a public event here that's one of my favorite. It has to deal with witches. Lots of hive, lots of big hive, lots of ogres, lots of knights. The lost sector is challenging and fun. I recommend it on the highest difficulty. Take your time and do it. But this is a Fluorescent Canal, and I like it. I like it a lot. Don't leave this out of your tourist destinations. Pretend you're a tourist, and this is definitely one of those world spots that you want to visit. Visit it, do it, and share your thoughts with me about how you feel about it. Now, let's get off to the Strand. The Strand, it's one of those places that I think a lot of people don't really hit the Strand. Let's take a trip there. This is really an exceptional place in the Dreaming City, the Strand. And the Strand is number 7 on my list. Now, remember, we're doing the top 10. I listed the top 10 at the beginning of the video. And this is purely subjective. This is my top 10. And I would love to hear from you, Guardians. Share your top 10. It might be, incredibly different from mine. And that's okay. These are places that you enjoy visiting as a Guardian in the game. Now, I remember when Forsaken launched, man, I was here, I was on the ground running, I was doing the story missions. Was I absolutely torn to bits? I was torn to bits by this whole thing. And this area, this Dreaming City, Guardians, I don't know that they'll ever top it. The Throne World, I love it. Savathun by far is one of the best villains slash ally possibly. That and look at me, I'm here killing like I'm a tourist. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. These are Scorn. A horrifying, awful Scorn. But I've got a shotgun and that'll descorn the place. But there's a public event that takes place here that absolutely takes place nowhere else. The enemy moves against itself is in this location. It's going to be right over here, and it's probably the start of it now. It's a fantastic enemy. Yeah, it's going on. It's Taken and Scorn. Evil versus evil. But the public event here is on another list of mine, the public event list. Definitely check that out. It's another video. But love this. We're in week 3. You can tell by the little taken dots that are streaming up and down the screen. This public event is available nowhere else. It's only here. So many of the public events repeat elsewhere, but not the one that takes place here. Guardians, this is the Strand. This is its location. Here's where I'm at right now. I'm at the public event area. This is where it would take place. Come and visit. All right, let's move along to number 6. It's Cadmus Ridge. This is Europa. As far as destinations go, it's not the oldest, it's not the newest. Let's get into Cadmus Ridge. I'm going to go to the landing zone. This is the planet Europa. Now, I remember when this launched, this icy planet, icy moon. This was another thrilling, not like the Dreaming City. I was not that engrossed in this as far as the level that I had for Dreaming City. But I still loved it. And we got to find out more about the Exo Stranger, Elizabeth Bray. We saw more interaction between Eris Morn and the Drifter. Those are, phenomenal characters inside the game of Destiny. And I do have to say, their banter with each other, it's engaging. Sometimes it can be a little bit mean-spirited. And I'm here for it. I like it. I think the two characters have something between them beyond what we see. Now, there's a public event going on here. This is Cadmus Ridge. I like it. You'll get, a lot. The public events will happen. There's Fallen events. There's Vex events. There's story events in this section. There's mechanical suits from the Fallen that drop. There's a lost sector right over there. It just has a lot going on. The weather even shifts. And boy, does it make it absolutely a fun time. And there's lots of chests in this area that will drop or that are part of the landscape. Plus, Exo, the Bray Sciences. It's right over there, Guardians. Go check this area out. You're not going to be disappointed. This is Cadmus Ridge. Now, let's move on back to one of our original destinations. This is the EDZ. This is Trustland. This is the big temple, church. This is where you're going to see the NPC, the non-playable characters, the NPCs in-game. And Devram K is here in the temple, the church. He's a sniper, and he is someone that's important for the EDZ, the European Dead Zone. And I really like this area. I felt like it was beautifully designed. It was dilapidated. Word of the day, dilapidated. It's dilapidated just enough to be believable that someone could still live here. And we're told that humans do still reside here. I know it's rough on them, right? It has to be rough. They have a water system right over there. There's a public event that takes place here. There's an enemy moves against itself, which are Cabal and Fallen. And Guardians, on top of all of that, there are three lost sectors just right on top of each other. You can quickly fulfill bounties in this area just based on the number of enemies, and you can pick up bounties with Devram. He's here in the temple, the old church. I just really, really like it. Stop playing with the enemies, Ransom. Leave them alone. All right. Now, this is Trustland, which brings me to Sorrow's Harbor. And let's quickly go over to the moon. This has its own landing zone. This is Sorrow's Harbor. The moon, okay, here it is, right? The moon is not, I wasn't super in love with this location because it's shades of gray. It's 50 shades of gray. And I just want a little bit more green. We did have a big Vex event here at the launching of the moon, and they had a lot of green in that. We had a lot of Hive. We had a big incursion here. We had Amanda Holiday with a ship that had guns. Where's my ship with guns? Where's my ship with guns? But I like this, Guardians. It reminds me of a planet we don't have anymore, not fully, Mars. This kind of reminds me, the public event here, of the escalation protocols from Mars. But this is the Altars of Sorrow in Sorrow's Harbor on the moon. It has lots to do. There's lost sectors here. There's lots of enemies. Like, I come here to work on my guns. You're going to find this real easy to pick up. See all these patrols? You're going to be able to pick up patrols and finish them quickly because of the number of enemies. Do not miss this. This might be higher on your list. And definitely let me know, because it's special. It is special, Guardians. Don't forget to visit here often. And it can be very rewarding because different bosses in this event will drop different guns. So it's worth it. Now let's move on to my top three, Guardians. This is going to be my top three. And number three is going to be Artifact's Edge. And we're going to run back over to the EDZ. Artifact's Edge. No, wait a minute. Artifact's Edge. Where am I? I'm lost. I'm dazed. I'm confused. Artifact's Edge. Why am I not remembering my favorite spot? It's not Europa. It can't be Europa. Oh my gosh. Okay, Guardians. Yes, this is one of my top really favorites. I have a brain freeze. I need more caffeine. But let's go to Artifact's Edge in the Arcadian Valley. It has its own landing zone, and it's like a towered landing zone on a Vex structure. More green tea. But I come here often. I would really, this could have gone either way. I have it in the number 3 spot, but this actually could have moved in to the number 2 spot. And easily, it could have easily done that. And I'm going to tell you why. We're flying into it. This is Artifact's Edge. Guardian down. I really like it. I like the landing zone. You can jump and just fall down faster. There's like a public event that's located here. We didn't activate it in a timely manner, but there would be a boss that comes out of that little cube. There's also a Rally the Flag public event right over there. There's lots of Vex here. There's lots of Cabal. I always come in. I rally this flag, Guardians. I pick up these bounties. I then run quickly into the Lost Sector, which is right over there. You can see the symbol. There's a fantastic Vex Lost Sector. I get this kill all. I swap between that and the system that pops up right over there. There's another Vex kill all. And this just makes this area easy to farm. You know, you grab the chest, you grab the patrols, you do the lost sector, you do the public event. Oh, can I get this chest? You do the public event here, you do the rally, the flag public event over there, and you just rinse and repeat. You know, you put this cycle on and you go through here, and man, you can rack up the kills. You can do those weapons. You can complete Catalyst. It just really is one of the best areas in the game. And this again is Artifact's Edge. This is on Nessus. It's kind of in the middle of the map, and I love it. Now, next is Skywatch, and Skywatch is back on the EDZ. Let's run over to Skywatch. No, wait a minute. Am I just dazed and confused? Why am I not remembering all of my top 3? What's wrong with me? Skywatch is in Cosmodrome. You know, Cosmodrome and Earth EDZ, should they just have been blended? Should these maps be merged and we need a Sparrow Trail? I feel like we do. I feel like we need a Sparrow Trail. We need a Vex Gate, or maybe we need one of those turtle transport pods. Give us a turtle transport pod, the TTP, Cabal transport pod, and I want to step into the Cabal transport pod and be launched over to the EDZ. I don't want to go to space. I don't want to get in my ship. I want that Sparrow Trail, mountainous, maybe a little bit rough. Maybe we have a timer at the start of it, a timer at the end of it to say how fast we were on the mountain trail on our Sparrow, or that Cabal transporter, the turtle transport pod, the TTP. Now, Skywatch, Guardians, as you know, this was a really active area in Destiny 1, and it's still active in Destiny 2. There's enemies moving against themselves. There's public events here. It's a war sat that falls. This also is an area that you run through to do strikes. There's lots of enemies. There's lots of really great patrols that are kill alls. And it just makes the whole area fun. And I kind of like Guardians. What I have done here the most is I will come here with weapons. And, oh, look at that, a big ogre. I come here with my weapons. I stand up here in relative safety. And I just pow, pow, pow. You know, I shoot everything in sight. Wow, that has kick on it. I shoot everything in sight, and I have a good time. Some of the most fun I've ever had in Destiny is just taking the enemies down, Guardians, pushing the darkness back. It's what I enjoy doing. Now, that leads me to my number 1 spot. It is on the EDZ. Guardians, it's Winding Cove. It's Winding Cove. You know, I had to fly through this to get to Firebase Hades. This is really my number 1 go-to spot. There's just something about it. I like the mix of green. I like the water. You know, if this were a real place and I could build in Destiny, I would claim a spot on the hillside and I would build a nice little cabin, right? We'd have a slide down to the lake. We'd get to splash and play in the water. You know, you could really see having a lot of friends here. You could have parties. I like that it's centralized. There's a lot of chests that come into play here. There's a public event. You know, it's the Cabal. It's a drilling unit. I really like it because it can be finished quickly. It can be finished quickly. If you're going to get Cabal and Fallen in this area, Guardians, sometimes there were missions that would drop walkers here. And this is a patrol that you can finish quickly by defeating Fallen. But there's lost sectors for the area. There's a lost sector here, and right here in this little mountainside under the bridge, there's a back way into the lost sector that's really on the other side. It's the flooded chasm. But it's kind of in here, and it can take place, and you can have a lot of fun with it. Leave me alone. I'm talking to folks. The adults are speaking here. Get out of here, you little fallen monster. So this is my number one area. I could also probably build a strong case about Artifact's Edge on Nessus, but I just like this one for some reason. It has close proximity to a lot of other public events. There's one that takes place kind of right in here. There's public events at Firebase Hades, but you can take a sparrow and you can ride this whole map, and it's filled with activities. It's my number one spot that I just have a lot of fond memories in it. Now, Guardians, I'm Ransom Rider playing my favorite game, Destiny 2. And that concludes my tour of the top 10 places. Definitely I feel like Artifact's Edge and Winding Cove could interchange for me. Skywatch I love just because the number of enemies. But those top three, I could probably switch them around and be happy. I could be happy. Someday, Guardian, visit with me. Let's hang out in game and let's visit some of these spots and let's have some fun. Let's build our friendship and let's take our skills and push back the darkness. I'm Ransom Rider playing my favorite game, Destiny 2, and I've hoped you enjoyed my top 10 places, and I want to hear from you on your top 10. I will see you very soon inside the game. Bye. Bye.